Hey everybody. I've been wanting to talk about Wwe2K14 for a little bit longer. I've talked about it at times, briefly, but I want to talk about it fully and what to expect. Now, in case you don't know, they did a roster review, pretty much the 30 years of WrestleMania roster reveal. And it's quite an impressive lineup when you think about it. I mean, there are some additions in here that really are surprising. But when you think about it, it shouldn't be surprising because WWE owns the likenesses. Well, not owns the likeness, but basically they own the footage in which the likenesses are around. And because a lot of these people pretty much have some kind of good terms with the WWE, they're able to use the licenses. And I think that's a good thing on WWE's part, be able to get the licenses. Now, 30 years of WrestleMania mode is huge. Now, there are several regular roster revelations that have come out, like Darren Young, Dolph Ziggler, I think Daniel Bryan, and all that. And then, of course, you got the pre-order DLCs that you can get down the line, like Warrior and the American Badass version of The Undertaker. So that's pretty good. Also, you have like Del Rio's in there. Of course, he's part of WrestleMania, so he's in there. But you got a huge, huge roster, and apparently this is going to live up to what they're talking about being the biggest yet. Now, I know one thing that a lot of people are going to be concerned about is you got a huge roster. What does that do for the creative mode of things? I think the creative mode is still going to be there. I mean, you don't just put things in and take them out. You don't. So I truly believe you're still going to have your created wrestler, your created divas. You're going to have your created arenas. Probably have more options to those as well. And you might even have created championship. I hope. I'm not saying I will. I mean, what we have in 13 is okay. But maybe we'll get it advanced a little bit more. We will get created championship. You know what I'm saying? Now, the roster is pretty good. I mean, so far, this is what you got. Del Rio, Andre the Giant, Batista, Big Show Retro, Paul White, Big John Studd, Bret Hart, Brock Lesnar, Ruthless Aggression, Chris Jericho Retro, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Darren Young, Diesel, Kevin Nash, Dolph Ziggler, Edge, Goldberg, of course, Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, JBL, John Cena, Ruthless Aggression, Kane, Attitude, King Kong Bundy, Mick Foley, Macho Man Randy Savage, Randy Orton, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, Rey Mysterio, Ric Flair Retro, in other words, Federation years, Ricky Steamboat, Ryback, Sergeant Slaughter, Shawn Michaels, Federation years, Stone Cold Steve Austin, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, The Rock, Attitude Era, Miz, Triple H Attitude with his Aggression Era, Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, American Badass, Undertaker, New Generation, Attitude Era, Yokozuna, and more to be revealed. Yeah. Now the ones that kind of stick out to you a little bit are the ones of today, like Miz, Ziggler, Daniel, CM Punk, Dolph, and all that. But you might be saying to yourself, well, who else is going to be in there? Well, of course you're going to have divas in there. You're going to have the divas. And of course you're going to have probably a majority of the rest of the roster, which basically culminates to this being a big roster. Now again, I know one of the concerns people have is what's going to happen to the rest of the game. Is it going to still be big enough? Oh, it's still going to be bigger. The only problem is the more they add, the bigger the save file is going to be. Yeah. Like, let's say you want to install the game so it's easier to play on your Xbox 360 or even your PS3. The gigabytes or the T-bytes, whatever they're going to be, for the PS3 are going to be bigger than usual because you're going to have so much content. You're going to have so much content to it. So that's the only thing you have to probably worry about is how big it would be if you want to kind of save it onto your hard drive, if not install the game onto your hard drive so it's easier to play when you put the disc in. Otherwise, the other things, like let's say the created character save files and all that, they should be about the same size as 13, if not a little bigger. Like I said, I don't think they're going to take, like I said, Wwe2K is the one that's creating this. Not distributing it, creating it. So I think they're still going to keep everything that made it what it was. Probably going to take some advice from 2K on what they can improve on in certain areas. So I think they're still going to keep the created arena and all that. I'm hoping, not saying they will, but I'm hoping they put creative championship in there as well. And maybe add a few more arena selections. And what I'm talking about arena selections is, you got these selected arenas you have for create arena, like the 5, like the tribute to the troops, the outdoor one, the big one, like the 30,000 seater or 20,000 seater and the 1,500 seater, and then of course you have the gym or the high school or whatever you want to call it. Hopefully they'll have more. Maybe it's part of creative mode because according to what we understand, it's supposed to be recreating some of the venues that just took place in, like they did with Legends of WrestleMania. They're supposed to probably be recreating some of those venues. Maybe we'll have a Silver Dome-like environment. Maybe we'll have a Silver Dome-like arena to choose from. That would be great. Give us a dome arena. That's what I would like to see. Give us something like that. Maybe even give us something along the lines of, let's say, community buildings. I mean, I know that what we have right now, that small one's pretty much close to what we're going to get. But if I'm 2K and I'm working with Wwe2K, I would say, okay, what we need to do is add an arena that looks like it's in a community building. So let's say someone's just standing up there and you can see people on these little areas. Because when I saw CSW, Central States Wrestling, at the Lawrence Community Building in Lawrence, Kansas, there were people that were standing up to here, standing on the thing, just watching and following around. They need to add stuff like that, add that kind of an arena. Maybe add a high school gym-like arena, where you see basketball, hoops in the background and stuff like that. It'd be tremendous. I think it would really work. Maybe even do an armory. Well, of course, the one they have in there could pass as an armory, but you kind of get the idea of what I'm saying. Kind of make it look like it's an armory where you see a flag here and maybe something like that, whatever. But still, I really think it would work if they added those kind of arenas. And maybe even, like I said, add the arenas from the 30 years of WrestleMania mode so we can choose from them. Or at least add a big dome. I know a lot of people are waiting for that. I mean, I would like to see it. And when you got someone like 2K or Take-Two in charge or associated with Wwe2K, hopefully they'll be able to accomplish something like that. But we don't know yet. We don't know all the details yet. There's new trailers and stuff that are out, but we don't know the exact details of what we're going to get. Besides just the roster and the modes and all that. Or certain modes, I should say, and all that. But still, hopefully we'll get more than that in the near future as time goes on, as more things are announced. Because I would love to see more added to the created arenas, the created superstars, created divas, and all that. And you know what? Here's another thing. Maybe, I'm praying, I'm hoping for elimination tag matches, they'll add in an actual Survivor Series elimination tag. Now I know you're thinking, well, that would be impossible because you got like 3 or 4 other guys you would have to choose from tagging. And that's true, but it makes it more challenging. But in a sense, and I may get some heat on this, it makes it more challenging because it allows you to do what you're doing. You can still have the same controllers. You just have to go like, okay, here's 2 here. You kind of spread them out a little bit. It would work. I think it would work. And then also, to me, add in the divas for, when you, WWE 13, despite its glitches and all that, I will say at least got the 6 diva thing going. The only problem is they won't allow them to compete in a 6-diva elimination chamber like they did in previous games. I would like to see that added on as well. Because you let them do Money in the Bank, you let them do the Scramble, you let them do 6-man tags, you let them do Hell in the Cell, why not the chamber? I mean, the only way you can put divas in a chamber is if you choose it as a match type, if it's for a one-on-one or a tag team deal. That's it. But to me, they need to add that back in as well. So, my thoughts on 2K14 so far, it looks good right now from what we can see. Hopefully we'll get more good news of like what kind of creative kind of modes we're going to get, what kind of created options we're going to get, creation options. Maybe we'll get more arena modes, more arenas to select, like domes and stuff like that. Maybe we'll get more choices of how to create it, the ring and the arena and all that. I would love to see that happen. You know, hopefully we'll get a 6-diva elimination chamber option now in the future. Maybe they'll let us create our own titles like they did in the past. I'm hoping they've improved a lot. And most of all, and I know I'm not the only one, I'm hoping they've corrected all the glitches we got before. Because let's be honest, I don't know what happened. I don't know who was in charge of the whole Wwe2K development with THQ on 13. But I will say this, they better work their asses off and make sure it doesn't happen with this one. And from what I understand, Take-Two is obviously a company that makes sure, if you're going to ship something out, make sure it's shipped out. You know, shipped out without any problems. But hey, all games are going to have problems, but hopefully it doesn't happen this time around. So, that's all I'm going to say on 2K14, on WWE 2K14. Hoping for the best. You know, from the roster we got and from the modes we're hearing about, hopefully we'll get more announced in the near future. But let me know what you're looking forward to, or at least who you're hoping to see in as part of the full roster, modernized roster. What you're hoping for as creation is gone, like creative modes are as far as I'm concerned, like what arenas you would like to see added on. Would you like to see the arenas from the 30 years of WrestleMania mode added as part of that situation? Let me know what you guys think. Would you like to see a creative championship mode back? Would you like to see the elimination chamber option added for the 6 divas matches? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to you all later.